Hi everyone, and welcome to this video where we're going to be creating some call and response and techno hat sequences using the smart control features and in particular the sequences on the arpeggiator. Let's start by soloing the percussion so you can hear it on its own. So I'll navigate to our first track and we'll start off with the ride, and all we have to do is press shift and arp, turn it on by pressing it. And then all we have to do is hold down a note and we're getting a note repeat set by the rate control. So we can use a combination of the rate and the sequence controls to give us different patterns. So we can go to say eighth notes and then we can choose a different sequence, and we've got quite a few different sequences here to choose from. And as you can see, the rate still affects the sequence. Let's now record this in. We can add some swing automation, or we could actually change the note values as well if we wanted to. So now that we've got the ride sequence out the way, we can look at getting a call and response type pattern into the mix. So all a call and response pattern is when you have something asking a question and then something else answering it. So we can think about this as two separate instruments. So we might have a snare that has a few hits or a few notes, and then that's answered by a rim shot or a clap. And it's quite a popular technique across quite a few genres, but in particular, it's used a lot in techno. So here we have a 909 kit spread across the keyboard with the light guide. And once again, we're going to use the sequence function to make a pattern. So now all we have to do is choose what instruments or what hits we want to use in the pattern. So if we hold a few of these notes down, we've got this now getting played back in a sequence. And it's arpeggiating, but it's not quite how we want it to be because we need each hit to be repeated a few times first. So instead of holding these notes down, I could use the hold function, but in this case, I'm just going to record them in so they're within session view. So we can now stop playback and we'll solo that track so you can hear what I've just recorded. And the secret is now to go to the second page of the arpeggiator, and we can change this from a sequence to a call and response pattern using the repeat function on page 2. So all we have to do is turn up the repeats, and this coupled with the sequence is going to give us a rhythmical pattern which repeats one instrument then the next. And then we can flick through our sequences and change the rate, add some swing until it fits in with our groove. So in this case we'll go for 4 repeats, and if we wanted to do a snare roll we could then use the retrigger function. So what retrigger does is, say we've got a 16-step sequence, is it's going to retrigger on the step value that we select. So if we select 1, it's only ever going to play the first note of the sequence, which in this case, because we've just got the first note of the snare, it's just going to give us a pseudo snare roll. And we can use that to create builds, and then we just pull the value back down or turn repeat off, and then we go back to our standard call and response pattern. So in this case, I'm going to turn retrigger off. We're going to set the sequence to 4, and then we're going to play this in the mix. And we might have to adjust the level once we've got the rest of the instruments playing. So now let's just flick into mix mode, move through our project, see all of our tracks, and when we get to the one we want to push the level up on, we can just use the rotary encoder to bring that up so we can hear it a little bit better. And then if we want to, we can go back to that instrument and we can add in more parts to the call and response pattern. So let's now add in a clap, and we can go as wild as we want with this. We could add as many tracks as we wanted, and we could try loads of different sequences, loads of different hits. We don't necessarily have to hold the note down. We could still play in the note and have it in sequence mode as well to get something a bit more interesting.